Hello. The purpose of this video is WordPress Basics. Everything you need to know to get started using WordPress. To start with, I'm going to walk you through the basics of creating an article. So let's say you're answering the email here. You click here, great golf story, something you'd want to look at. And here's a story about a high school golf tournament. It's a complete story, and we'll get these from coaches where they'll write something up and send it out for publication. And suppose we decide we want to make a story out of this. First thing we would do is log into WordPress. The way to log into WordPress is to go to our Viva Loudon site. Now, you can tell that I'm not logged into Viva Loudon because I don't have a black bar across the top with options to get into the website. I'm just seeing the native Viva Loudon screen. If you scroll all the way to the very bottom on the right, you'll see Login. Go ahead and click that, and that will bring up your login screen. After you do it once, you can save it. And when you click Login, you are taken to this screen, which is the dashboard. Now, if you want to see if you are logged in, let me click over here to another Viva Loudon I have and refresh it. And what you'll see is because I logged in on the set, you'll see Howdy with my user ID and these icons for jumping into the site or creating a post. So that's how you can tell if you're logged into our site or not. When you are on our dashboard, if you want to create a post, you will do that by clicking over here and clicking Add New, or simply clicking on top. Like everything else, there's 3 different ways to get what you want done. Click New and Post. And what that does is take us into our post editor. This is where all the magic happens. This is where all of our articles are created. Now, there are 2 first-time user items I want to point out. First off, if you come up here to the upper right corner, you'll see Screen Options. If you click the down arrow, we'll have a little pop-up menu appears. And you can close this to close it. Click Screen Options once to open it. Click it again to close it. The thing I want to make sure you have checked in here, these are by default, everything you need is checked except one. And that's where it says Excerpt. I want you to go ahead and click that. Click that. Click Screen Options. And when you do, down here at the very bottom, you'll see the Excerpt window appears. The second thing I want you to look at is right here, these are the icons you have to affect text. Bold, icon, strike through. The first time you come in, you'll only see one set, and this is one of the more confusing things. 5th icon from the right, it says Toolbar Toggle. And if you click that once, it causes a second one to appear with some commands that you'll use. Text color, undo, underline. It's hard to find if you don't know. Once you click those 2, the next time you log in, it'll all, by default, they'll stay up. So those are 2 things you should know. Now, here, what do you need as far as basics for creating an article? First is, you'll see right up here, enter text title. This is a golf story. What you type here is what will appear at the top of your article and also on our main website. So for instance, right here, cross-country match results, September 19 scores, Battle of the Burn, fan photo winner. All of that text is here in the title. That's what will appear there. Secondly, you come down to the story, the actual where you add a story. Click over, a couple things to know here. Let me go ahead and click this story. I have someone who provided me content. I will go ahead and click it. I can copy it and I can paste it right in here. Boom, there's my story. If you want to add story, more info about story, you can go ahead and type it here. It's the same as any other word processor, and you can put your story in there. Now, couple things that are standard that we want to do. we want to put at the top of every story the location, Ashburn, Virginia, which if it happened here, you put that. If it happened in Richmond, Virginia, because it's a state final, you put that in. If you're not sure where, though, put in Ashburn, Virginia. That's our headquarters. And the date, September 20th, 2014, with a dash. This is kind of our standard text that we add. Another thing we do, and for the high school interns, you can just look at this. But for all the others, we're going to hold you accountable for it. Insert an ad. See this button here? There's certain advertisers who have paid to have an ad put in every story. In the fall, it's Virginia Elite Volleyball and Elite Performance Golf Academy. So seeing how this is a golf academy, I will insert that story. And all you do here is this inserts this little tagline. That's all you need to worry about. Now I've already incorporated a couple items here. I have the title, I put in our ad, I put in my date and location and copied the story over. At any time, if you want to see what it looks like, you can click in the upper right here, Preview. By clicking that once, this shows you what the story would look like. And as you see, this is a golf story is there. The ad I put in is right there. The location and date appears first. And then here is my story. And if there's any wording or any alignment issues, you'll see it here because this is how the story will appear when it's published. And when I'm done, I can just simply close that because that just appears as a preview article. Now I've got my story. For every story, there's two things we want: excerpt and featured image. Excerpt is the kind of tagline that appears on the main screen. This is a tagline. What you put right here is what appears down here. We have the title, Battle of the Burn, congratulations to this week's winners, or for September 19 scores, 13 schools in action. This first line right here is what is in your excerpt line. If you do not put anything there, it will simply put about the first 20 characters of the story. So what they'll see is something like this: Ashburn, Virginia, September 20, 2014, Stone. Not exactly a tagline to get someone in. So that's why we ask everyone to put a tagline, put some sort of summary of the story or some info they want to know. Another thing we want is a featured image. This is this little image that appears right here. It's something that instead of just plain text, which we use for items like sports scores or the daily crime report, here we want to put in a little image. So for that, what you'll see is right over here, featured image. If you click on set featured image, you're taken to where you can put in a logo or upload a photo. We will talk more about how to add images in a separate video. So here we'll assume you just want to add a photo. Here, what you can do is you can search. If you type sheriff, there are two logos that we use for Loudoun County Sheriff. If you type Loudoun County Public School, LCPS, we have the title there. If you type golf, this is a golf article. What we have is a bunch of different shots for golf. So what I think I'll do here is simply click on a classic, empty golf course, because that will kind of put the mood for the image. And you'll hit set featured image. What this will do is it'll put it right here now. You'll see the image. Now if I was to click on preview again, I will not see the tagline, the excerpt, or the set featured image. Let me close this preview, because as I say, those are what will appear on the main screen when you publish the article. So right now I put in my title, I've put in my story, I have my excerpt here, and I've done a featured image. The next thing I want to do that's very important is putting in categories. Categories decide where the article will appear on your screen, And it is also what will record in historically what type of articles we've published. And let me go back to the main screen. If you click nothing, by default it will appear in local news. And it will rotate out here, then go in the local news. If you click sports, it will come here in the sports, and it will rotate down. If you click Loudoun County Public News, it will appear there, and likewise. And this is where all of the different areas on the screen. So you want to make sure you do that right, or your Loudoun County news article may appear in sports, or your sports article may appear in photos. It can be confusing. So this is for the generic person creating an article for us. If it's something about the school, someone scored perfect on the SATs, academics, arts, obviously arts, dance, drama, music, visual. As you see, this is very intuitive. Loudoun County Public Schools, article about what's going on at the schools there. Local news, business, crime, education, you'll click that. If it, for instance here, it's a golf story about Stonebridge, I will come down, and for photos, of course, if it's a photo gallery, you'll put it there. But for a generic writer, if it's schools, we want to click school. Then we have elementary or high school. I ask that you click this for our metadata, for keeping track of what we are. It's a high school, and it's Stonebridge High School. It doesn't mention, it does mention that they play Briar Woods, so I'll click Briar Woods. So what this does is, one, it'll make sure it appears in sports, but also when it rotates off the screen, this will be stored for both those high schools. So if anyone clicks on high schools, they'll see the story under Briar Woods and Stonebridge. Likewise, when I click here on sports, and what is it? Is it a college? No. But I come down, it's a high school, and it's a high school golf. And that's actually all that it is right now. As you see, we have professional sports, and then we have some other things. That's all you need to do for tags. Like I say, because of that, when you publish it, it will be here in sports. Also in sports, high school, if you were able to click golf, it by default will be placed there. And likewise for schools, then for high schools, for Briar Woods, and for Stonebridge, it will be placed there. See, but so by clicking these, it's very important so we can track the articles and they'll appear in the right location. Now, on all stories, we ask you to put in a photo if you can. I will not do that. I'll go ahead and insert a photo just so you can see what it is. You'll simply come through here, click on what photo you want, and do insert into post. We're not spending time on that because there'll be a separate video about adding the correct photo, how to do it, and how to manage media. But for here, I'll put this together just to show we now have a complete article. Title, ad, if there is a sports-specific ad, location and date. You typed in all the information about your article. You added a photo, excerpt, featured image, and you clicked all the relevant categories. You can preview this one last time to see what the article will look like. All right, I just came back from a pause. So here you get to see a preview of what your article looks like. Now, when you're done with it, obviously, if the viewer of this media is one who has published authorities, you may be able to publish it. If not, what you would do is click up here for Save Draft. Just simply click Save Draft, and your article is saved. If you want to see it, come over here and click All Posts. This does things chronologically. Sometimes it's confusing because if there's scheduled articles, they'll appear above your draft. But here's my This is a Golf story. Or if I click up here in Drafts, I'll be able to see the story. Now, if I come back and I click Edit, I can go ahead and make whatever changes I want to the story. And then if you're ready to publish it, if you're all done editing it, what you will do is click here and do Pending Review and hit OK. that when you save as pending review, that will be one of the indications to Janelle as the editor to review your article. If you now look here, I have 3 drafts, 1 pending review. And if I click on pending, and like I say, we also would like you to please send an email to Janelle to let her know also, because as we start having more and more people do stuff, we have drafts and pendings out there. And also when you have a pending done, we don't want it to let it sit. So I'll click on the story again. That is all that you need to know about the basics of creating a story. And like I said, there will be other videos about some more advanced features that you should know. Thank you.